Hi everyone, I hope you are doing well. I am here with the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine energy update. I can't believe it's almost September. I have no idea where the time has went. It feels kind of like light years since I've done my last video. I want to say it was maybe 3 weeks, 2, 3 weeks ago. I don't even know. The concept of time for me is it's collapsing. There's just so much happening energetically right now. This week especially, I've not felt like myself, and obviously, we might tap into why that is here in a minute. But I just know personally, I've been just feeling blasted with all kinds of cosmic energy. There's been solar flares. There's been just a lot of stuff coming in, ascension wise. I feel like my masculine has really been affected the most because I've had triggers in my solar plexus like I've never had before. I didn't really have any physical symptoms other than fatigue, but it was emotional. It was just feeling like unworthy, feeling just like almost like this self-loathing, like feeling disgusted with myself, feeling not, I don't want to say hating myself, but just not feeling attractive, not feeling good enough at anything, feeling unmotivated, feeling lethargic, apathetic, just depressed. And I don't know if I'm tapping into, collective energy or twin soul energy, or if it's literally, I have been reading as well that there's been stuff coming up for especially the divine feminines in the solar plexus, in the confidence. It's really deep rooted things that are, illusions about their worth and their place in the world and those types of things. But I can tell you, just from my experience in this, what I've been feeling this week, it's really given me an entire other perspective of what the divine masculines on this journey have been going through. And I have a new understanding and appreciation of perhaps why they, maybe flake out on plans, or they, there were times I didn't feel like talking to anybody. I didn't feel like seeing anybody. I just wanted to be on my own and literally didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to get off the couch. And there were days this week that, during my lunch break, I would lay on my couch with my cat, and like one of my cats, and I'm like, I don't feel like exercising. I don't feel like doing anything. And that's not like me at all. I'm usually very motivated, very energized to just do stuff. And it's just been an ugly feeling. It's not a feeling that I'm used to having. So again, obviously if you're watching this, most likely, you're in a twin flame dynamic, some sort of sacred partner, soul connection, either with a specific person, or it's something that that you're on that path. But I always remind you guys that we all have masculine and feminine energies within us. So it's important to, look at this as a message as far as what is within you. In addition, if you want to take messages, and I'm sure at some point it's gonna come across as what they're saying to you and vice versa, as if it's a separate person. But we're always mirrors for each other. So just try to remember that these messages can resonate both ways, and they should, because you always want to look at yourself. If something isn't progressing in your life in any fashion, but especially in a sacred partner connection, if they're not showing up for you, where are you not showing up for yourself? Those types of things. So, but this full moon, I think, in addition to the solar flares and the solar storms and things that are coming in, this full moon has just been already. I'm feeling. I usually always get the energies. I feel like once the portals open, I kind of like, I don't know, what do they call, like the gatekeepers or whatever. Like I get hit with this stuff first, with retrogrades, like all of it. This is going to be September 2nd, depending on where you're in the world, 1st or 2nd of September. So early next week. It's in Pisces, water sign, very emotional, deep. It's, definitely an awakening energy. I know that the divine masculines, in the sense that, or a person who's not awakened, but they're on this path, they're not maybe fully awakened, they're definitely going through a spiritual awakening and transformation right now, depending on what wave they're in. They're definitely tapping more into their intuition, and I feel like there are just things that are coming up and being purged. And again, I don't know if it's the feminines that are taking this on behalf of the masculines, because they're the ones that have been the transmuters. They're the ones that do that. But we'll see what we come up with here. And as you guys know, I always kind of do this in different ways. Sometimes I don't know how it's going to go. But I'm feeling called to start with the feminine. And for one reason today too, like I was called to wear, felt called to wear pink. I've got a rose quartz here. But oh, and I was just going back to, energetically, I've been there. I've been waking up in the morning and I feel like, thankfully I don't feel feverish, but I feel like my body is like a blast oven furnace. Like I feel like it's got to be like 1,000 degrees. I'm on fire. I feel like I've been in the sun for hours. I have all this just heat pouring out of me, and my body is literally shaking, like especially my spine. And then last night it was tremors in my right shoulder, which is the masculine side. So something, was coming out there. I've had, vibrations in my crown. I felt like just all kinds of pulsations. And at one point last night too, I felt like my body, my etheric body, I could feel it lifting out of my body when I was wide awake. It was just bizarre. So a lot's happening. Anyway, you guys know I tend to ramble, so we're going to get started now with the Divine Feminine. We're just going to pull and see what's going on with her energy. Divine Feminine. This is the Celtic Tarot. I was called to use this. Gosh, this energy is thick. And as always, I'm getting really, really warm. All right. Oh boy, yeah, that definitely makes sense. Sorry if you guys hear my little cat in the background. She's squeaking. They always act up. It doesn't matter without fail. When I start a video, it's like shitstorm happening. Okay, so I feel like regarding, some of the, speaking of shitstorm, I mean, a lot of us, with this entire year, right? But especially this summer, I know just myself and a lot of people have been put through the ringer. Okay. I've had, a couple of, deaths in my family, not totally unexpected, but just the timing and, how close they were together. Uncertainties with my job, just, so many things just like coming at you, not to mention the collective energy that we're transmuting, here as a part of this. So I feel like though the last couple of weeks, that stuff has sort of settled down a little bit, right? I feel like that overall, like that type of stuff has been a little bit more calm, right? Because we've got Six of Swords here moving into calmer waters. So now's the time that, and this could be, obviously this is a feminine reading, but again, we have the energies in both of us. So take it, whoever you are watching this, this is the time that we have now that things are calming a bit. I feel like it's sort of this calm before the storm again. This is the time that we should be putting out our intentions, really manifesting the next direction that we're going to go. Picking up the tools that are coming at us, because we've got the Three of Wands here. This is kind of like your path is lit. You've got everything you need to go forward. It's like you can go, like you are so fully supported by the universe, your guides, spirit, everything. But what's blocking you? The devil, and that's ego, that's fears, that's that ugly stuff that I was saying that's creeped up in me this week. And I think some of it too is just absolute exhaustion, right? I mean, look how this guy, this I don't know if you want to call him like a troll or something. Like he's just like this huge guy. He's got this man and woman like on strings, like they're puppets on strings. And it just felt kind of like at times this summer with all the stuff that was happening, it was just like you're getting pulled along. You're just being drug. Like, oh my God, like I've went through so many shifts that I don't even know. I don't even recognize the person I was a month ago, let alone 3 months ago, let alone, last year. So it's kind of like I'm just exhausted, and I know that this is the time that I need to be going forward and saying, all right, I've got this, like, but it's just like you're just tired. You're just wanting, and for some of us, maybe toxic patterns have resurfaced. Maybe you're just like, again, like the sloth, the laziness, whatever you want to call it, maybe drinking more or working too much. on other things that, other than what you should be doing, quote. There's just this kind of like, all right, I have everything here, but man, I need to rest. I need to recoup from this, right? But we do have the magician energy here, right? That's just further manifesting energy. Confirmation, it's like, it's time. It's time to take a deep breath, pick up that wand, pick up that stick, whatever it is. The magician has all the tools you need, and go and make it happen. All right. So this is good energy that we have for us. And I know many of us too are exhausted and tired because we've been on this journey for what seems like lifetimes. I mean, I feel like stuff that happened in January, February of this year, even March, was truly another lifetime ago, not even on this planet. It doesn't even, it's like that. I don't even, it's just bizarre. So you feel like, my God, like we've been working so hard. And this is partially the ego too, right? Of not going with flow. I'm getting that wands, this 3 of Wands energy, magician. It's like, you have to take the action to make things happen, but then you have to let it happen, right? You have to have that balance of surrender, flow, action and flow, and not trying to control the process. And I think understandably, so much has happened that sometimes that ego steps in, and it's like, I've been working, like, when is this going to happen? When are my seeds going to harvest? Like 7 of Pentacles, like, you're wanting to reap the rewards. And 7 of Pentacles is very slow energy. And so you're just like, come on, for the love of God. Like, am I ever going to have, be it, if it's a business taking off, or a career, or the relationship that I want, you're in that energy of this. And some of us too, I think, are conflicted over, maybe what it is you actually want. And so you might be sending out mixed signals to the universe. So it's like very hard to manifest something if you're conflicted and you're in your head and you're questioning now, like, is this really the person that I want to be with? Or is this really the career that I want to be in? Do I really want to be self-employed, or do I really want this? Like, there's a lot up in the air right now as far as not only what it is you want, but how to make it happen. And there's just kind of, I think the feminines are feeling overwhelmed with all of that. So we've got, this is interesting. So we've got, and this might resonate again, this is a general reading. So, take what resonates, toss the rest. But we've got a King of Pentacles here, which is an earth sign. So that would be a Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. This also is just being financially abundant and stable. We've got a Queen of Swords. That is air, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. This is also about cutting away things that no longer serve, setting boundaries. Yeah, but I'm getting some other, okay. Sorry, I'm getting some other, like, I've got a lot of messages coming in. We also have a King of Cups. So what I'm sort of getting is there's a little bit of a conflict. The feminines are conflicted maybe too, because they're, again, and we're going to tap into the masculine energy, but they're not seeing the results manifesting in the physical. Again, if you're with a specific person, and so there's this conflict of like, is this even going to happen? I don't, you don't see the changes that are happening behind the scenes, that this person is working on becoming their King of Pentacles, their solid, stable person. And meanwhile, I feel like maybe there's been some sort of an imbalance in the feminine, who's tired of waiting, or whatever this is, or a conflict. The Queen of Swords energy, it's kind of like that's what I've been experiencing myself. The Queen of Swords, she's kind of the ice queen, especially in this deck. Not all the decks, she doesn't show up this way, but this is a very cold. She's like literally like sitting on her throne, kind of like Elsa and Frozen, right? She's just kind of like, yeah, I'm just going to be to myself. And I think, what I struggle with personally is when the more you ascend in consciousness, and when you're awakened, the more you detach emotionally, and you get into this observer state where you're out of ego, right? You're more in spirit, in soul, and that's where you're just observing, and you're not really letting things affect you in an egoic reaction. You're not having that anger, you're not having that, fear, you're not having that, the tears, the whatever it is. And it's something I'm not used to. I used to be very, especially as a fire sign, very passionate and just like I'd get mad at, whatever it is, the political stuff going on, or just I would, just be fired up about it. And even with the deaths in my family and a friend committing suicide, things that I just really haven't processed. And it's not that I'm consciously trying to suppress my emotions. It's just it's happening on its own because I'm kind of disassociated from the ego to that extent. But we're in this weird place. I feel like we have to honor those emotions. We have to dig them out. And I think that this full moon is bringing some of that up. And so it may be coming out in a way that you wouldn't expect. Like I know for me, I had a lot of anger coming out this week, and it was like over some silly stuff, like stuff that I was just like, why am I reacting this way to some little like thing? And I think it's because it had been suppressed. And so just be cognizant of that, be mindful of that, honor your emotions. And I think if you realize that you've gone through some pretty heavy stuff and you've not cried, you've not done what your normal reaction would have been 5 or 10 years ago, to process that emotion. I mean, of course we grow, but it's like you might just need to sit down. And I sometimes will even like listen to sad songs or try to force myself to cry. It's this weird thing because you're feeling joy and you're like in such high vibration. You don't want to drag yourself down by feeling these things. But, I think that's sort of keeping, it's like what I'm getting is it's just like there's not this flow of like it's ice, it's hardened. And to manifest the things we want, we have to flow and we have to be open. And even though we're not consciously closing off our hearts, I think if you're not processing emotion, you are in some ways. That's kind of what I'm getting. But I think first of all, as the divine feminines, I would say that you've got to set out clear intentions of what it is you want. And if you're not sure what you want at this point, then you maybe need to sit down with this full moon especially. You can write out anything that no longer serves you and you want it gone, right? Write that down, burn it. If there's someone in your life that maybe you need to forgive, or you need to, whatever it is, write that letter, burn it. But really sit down and maybe even what I think is a good technique too is to write a letter to your spouse on your, as if it's your 1 year anniversary, and don't tie it to a specific person, but it's just like write them this letter that it's like how grateful, that they've done this and they're this in your life and they do these things, and you're setting out like as if you have it, because you're saying, yeah, I'm writing it as if it's there. But that might help you like pin down, even if it's not a specific person, like this is what I'm looking for. It could be a job too that you're doing that with. But what I'm getting is once you set out clearly, what it is in the physical you want in a partner, okay, that might be what the way the King of Pentacles is here as well. You've got to set out, exactly what it is you want, how you want this person to show up in your life. And if you're kind of like, well, I want this, but I might want that, or I might want this person, or I might want this, but I don't know, you're kind of going to be sitting here, twiddling your thumbs, like kind of cold, like on, you've got to open yourself up to that too. Because once you do that, I'm getting, the Page of Wands is passionate communication. The King of Cups shows up. Like, you've got two kings here. And I think, honestly, and I'm feeling this, you might have options, of who, maybe you want to manifest in your life, which is new to you. Maybe that's causing some conflict. But I think, too, there's some of it, it's like, you've been shut down so long, maybe because you've gotten used to being alone. You've gotten comfortable to the point where you're detached, that you don't, quote, need someone. You don't yearn for them like you used to. You don't have that codependent energy anymore. But at the same time, subconsciously, you might be afraid to let them in because you don't want to start repeating the same patterns again. You're like, if I let them in, if I let them, if I spend time with them, or if I open myself up to this again, I don't want to get hurt. And I think there's some of that happening where it's like, could be tied to the worthiness things that are coming up. But I think there's the subconscious blockage. That's what I'm picking up on, that you've got a king of Pentacles here and a King of Cups that I feel like they're ready. Like this guy, now he is kind of hiding in the tree a little bit. He's sitting there, but I think he's ready to come forward. it's like, and I'm not trying to blame the divine feminines, right? Because again, we're mirroring each other here, but I think he's ready. I mean, you have two kings. You don't have knights. You know, the page in this instance, I think is about the communication, coming forward with an offer. He's like, boom, I'm ready to go. I think the shift has to come with the feminine, and she has to get out of her head. She has to set out clearly, energetically, what it is she wants. And I think whatever that is, they're going to show up in the physical. So that's what I'm getting for the feminines. Yeah, and the justice is right here, and I feel like there's kind of an imbalance. Look at this. This is interesting too. Oh my God, you guys, you know what I'm going to say. You can't make this shit up. I was just saying earlier that there might be a choice between two, or like, you're like, which direction am I going to go? Justice, it's like you've got to make a decision. And I think even if you don't attach to a specific person, it's like, these are the qualities I'm looking for in a king. This is the type of king I want. And then, you know, that's how it shows up, right? So, but the thing is, the justice. This is a woman, this is a divine feminine holding the scales. She looks like she has a bridal veil on, and there are two guys at her feet. I mean, come on. Have you ever seen that on a justice card? I don't know that I have. It's like, you know, who's going to show up for me? You know what? It doesn't have to be one person. And but you've got to set it out clearly. Okay. And open your heart. So I'm picking up, I think that's why the rose quartz is here, the malachite. I do want to pick up on a message from the feminine to the masculine, just to see what comes out. This is the cosmic reading cards. Be still. Yeah, I think this is more, and we've got the golden crown, which to me is the, you know, that's like an awakening card. That's the crown chakra. This is about going into meditation, and it's like calming your energy, right? I think this is good for both counterparts, but I do feel that, like I said, a lot that's been coming up for me has been tied to the solar plexus, the masculine energy this week. So I think it's a message, you know, even if I had to just say to myself, it's like, be still, connect to nature more, connect to the divine more, and that's going to help with that Five of Wands energy, that conflict and competition, and just get into more of a flow. Definitely. All right, so I am going to pull now from the Chakra Wisdom Tarot for the masculines. We're going to look and see what's in the masculine energy, what's going on with the divine masculine. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. This never, you guys, I don't even know right now. The mirroring and the stuff I was just saying, I can't even. Okay. So the reason I'm laughing is because what have I been harping on a lot? As I was saying that there's something going on with the masculines and the solar plexus right now. Okay. That the feminines are picking up on. The card that comes out is the Tower. And look at what color. This is a chakra deck. Solar plexus is yellow. So this is literally like something's happened, I want to say recently, that's completely derailed the confidence of the masculine. The feminine is here. I mean, she's here. It's like she's transmuting. This is the devil. We had the devil come out in the feminines. There's a crown there for like the divine. It's like I feel like too, maybe there's some divine intervention. This could be like all the energy coming in, the intensity. It's like blasting out, you know, from both parties, right? Because the feminine's here transmuting this. But it's like, this is your divinity. You've got to step up. You've got to clear this stuff out. And I think it's been some sort of an intense moment. There's been some sort of triggering. I know I had it for sure. I had a Tower moment this week as well. Like just self-sabotaging, anger coming out. I've not been myself all week. So this card definitely makes sense. And the reason I'm laughing is the card blocking it is the Magician, and we had the Magician come out already in the Divine Feminine spread. This is look at this here. Wow. Yeah. I think so. You know how I was saying that the feminines, you have the tools there, you just need to pick it up. And I think the masculine is definitely, they're mirroring the same thing, because they're not coming out of this tower moment like it's like they're, or maybe they had this tower moment because they're not realizing their potential power. I mean, you can see this guy, he's holding this now, I think it's a wand, staff of some sort, and he's looking at her, and he's got this look on his face, just like disbelief, like, really? Like, I'm supposed to hold this? I can hold this too? And she's standing there, there's a sword there, and she's kind of just standing there looking at him. It's like they're both like, we don't know what to do with this. So, neither one is like, there's got to be the shift. And I think the feminine is the one that's got to be the one that, her current energy in the third position was the Magician. The masculine has it in number 2, which is the blocking energy. So she's got to be the one now that takes it, picks it up, goes, and like shifts the connection forward, shifts the ascension forward. When I say the connection, obviously I'm talking about a physical connection between partners, if that's what the track you're on, but it's also balancing the energy within yourself to go forward, to ascend, to get out of this gunk, this darkness, right? I do feel like the masculines have been working on themselves. We've got healing energy here as far as the 4 of Swords. We've got the 9 of Cups, which has been their recent past. It's in the sacral, the orange chakra. So I think a lot of the masculines potentially have been maybe celibate, because 9 is a solo energy, focusing on themselves. And the fact that we have the 9 of Cups as a solo energy in the orange, the sacral chakra, is, I think, is meaningful. Yeah, I think he's been really working on himself. And what's interesting is that he has the 7 of Coins, which is the 7 of Pentacles energy, in the third position. The feminine had it in the 5th. And this is the energy about seeds being planted. I think he's starting to realize that, recognize the relationship, recognize the connection, recognize the work that she's put into herself and to him energetically. This is tied to, third eye, crown chakra energy. And I think he's really starting to get pulled along, right? Because she's at the point where she's like, I feel like I've been doing this forever. I'm ready to move past it. He's just now getting like, oh my gosh, a recognition of this has happened, right? I think, he's hoping he can stay strong enough to show up for her, is what I'm getting. To tame his demons, and I think Leo season, because we have strength here. I think August, Leo season, was, the Lion's Gate was very, very transformative and profound for this group of masculines that I'm channeling in this collective. I think that those look like little fairies or fireflies. I think, again, there's a recognition of this specific person and, what she's done for him. And if he's not tied to a specific person, it's like a recognition that he is worthy of finding somebody who is a sacred partner and who will love him unconditionally. Okay. Now, what I'm getting, though, is 5 of Swords, which is interesting because it's in the same position as the 5 of Wands was for the feminine. And I think where there's been conflict in the feminine side, in her head, where she's in her head too much in the Queen of Swords energy, that's causing the masculine energy to self-sabotage. That's what, the 5 of Swords. I'm not getting that there's a betrayal per se. between the individuals. I think it's somebody betraying themselves, you know, like I said, falling back into unhealthy patterns, not living or speaking their truth. This is the throat chakra. Um, and maybe, you know, too, the masculine is still kind of watching her from a distance, still maybe a little distrustful. Many of them, you know, if you are dealing with a specific person, have not shared their feelings, or ever even admitted they've had feelings, even if it's been years that you've been on this path. And he's still kind of holding things close to the vest. But right, how is that mirroring? You know, isn't that mirroring? Doesn't this look like? Let me find it. Who does this? I mean, how does this look similar? Right? That's mirroring right there. So, you know, I think once the feminine shifts into that magician mode, you know, gets out of this tower energy, this self-sabotaging energy, I think there's going to be, and it's interesting that there's a full moon on this card, right? Because that's what we're talking about right now is the full moon energy. There's going to be a recognition of how perhaps, you know, he's been deceiving himself in regards to the truth of his own divinity, the truth of the connection that they share. If this is a person that you know, he's a specific person he's dealing with, and also the fact too that like how much he's hurt her, not intentionally, but all these swords that she's taken in the heart on this journey. And she's standing there with like that. Maybe she's expecting an apology. It doesn't mean all the feminines are, but some of them maybe are expecting an apology. There's something there that it's like he's like, oh my God, like I didn't realize everything she sacrificed to put these pinnacles into place, to, you know, stay strong, to deal with trying to tame me, right? She's been so strong and so like powerful, and it's a shift that it's like, oh my God, like I've been deceiving myself is what I'm getting, and sabotaging myself, and therefore sabotaging this connection. So once that's overcome, there is a new beginning here, the Fool, which is just beautiful, something solid, because this is associated with the root chakra. There's some healing that will happen in the connection and the heart healing, and I feel like there will be conversations, there will be sharing, there will be talks about that, because the outcome that comes from this is the Three of Coins, which is the Three of Pentacles, which for me, you guys may know if you've watched my videos, is the physical union card. It is the divine masculine, the feminine, in union with God. So it could just be about a wholeness, a justice, a balance within yourself, but it could also mean a physical relationship. At a minimum, what it means to me is you've climbed, right? You've been thrown out of this tower, this solar plexus energy, this purging, this just getting rid of these illusions, that you're not divine, that you're this hideous beast or whatever it is. You're not worthy of this. You're not worthy of divinity. You're not worthy of divine love. You're not worthy of whatever it is you're seeking to manifest. You've healed that, and you're climbing, and you're ascending, and you're now going towards your goal, right? Look at this. I mean, this is so beautiful. So let's see what message though. I know a lot of you guys, and I enjoy these too, what message the masculine person, I guess, has for the feminine. This is the Angelic Revelation 144, Naked Flame, Healing Messages. Let's see what message this is giving. Well. I wish I told you how I felt about you back then. My feelings haven't gone away. They're still growing no matter how deeply I try to bury them. I'm trying to find the words and gain the strength to express my truth to you soon. I mean, you guys, you know, look how many cards are in here. And I was just talking about somebody maybe had not admitted how they felt ever. And they're trying, it's like my feelings are still growing no matter how deeply I try to bury them. And this is not just I mean, this is like the feminine. Like, I think she's buried her feelings too. I really do. It's like this balance, right, of justice, and that could be maybe even not the two different people that were coming out. Remember in that card, it's like a balance of detaching from an outcome with somebody versus completely detaching from your feelings and not allowing yourself to feel that deep love, that, you know, that that ache, that, you know, it's unhealthy to be obsessed with it, but it's also unhealthy to detach so much you feel nothing anymore. I myself, I know I feel like I've been happy, like where I'm at and everything, but I've just felt numb. Like I've just not felt, I felt empty. I felt numb. And I guess like that's just it's a defense mechanism, right? But it's like, I'm trying to find the words and gain the strength to express my truth to you soon. Wow. That is so beautiful, you guys. So, I'm going to pull a Divine Feminine Healing and Mystic Moon Oracles. So we've got some beautiful mantras. We're going to just see what needs to come out from this connection. Okay. Performance. I surrender my need to people please in order to feel accepted. I am good enough just the way that I am. So I think this is definitely the worthiness that's coming up. And the masculines may be going through that now. I think the feminines have gotten to the point in the Queen of Swords energy where you are setting boundaries. You're not trying to people please as much. And you're kind of like, this is how this is, you know, I'm going to do self-care today, or I'm going to do this. You're not afraid to say no. I think the masculines might be at that point in their journey where they might be struggling with that a little bit. But I think the most important thing to take away from this is I am good enough just the way that I am. And performance also, you know, this person looks like a puppet, a robot, a doll, wearing, you know, to me, it's like wearing a mask, not speaking your truth, you know. And I want to say too, like, I'm good enough just the way that I am. I surrender my need to people please in order to feel accepted. I think this is another message from the feminine, the masculine. It's like, you're loved just the way you are. You don't have to show up, you know, in a certain way, and just be you. Just be your authentic self. And, you know, you're going to be accepted and loved. All right. So we're at the, since this is a moon reading, I'm going to do the moonology. Okay. Prosperity lies ahead, new moon in Taurus. Prosperity lies ahead. So I think this is overcoming kind of this stuck energy. Taurus, I have a lot of that in my chart. My moon and rising is Taurus. Stubborn, stuck, slow moving energy. It's about, you know, new moons. I know we're in a full moon now, but this card is a new moon. And it's about, you know, starting fresh, manifesting, right? We've got that magician energy with both. So it's prosperity lies ahead. You've just got to get over whatever it is that, you know, is holding you back, that's keeping you stuck. Which again, I think a lot of us, it's just some recoup, some resting time, and we're just tired. But that's why self-care is so important right now. Drinking a lot of water. I'm hearing coconut water, eating lighter foods, just, you know, salt baths, getting out in nature, sleeping if you need to, but just exercise, all kinds of things. Let's see. I'm going to look at a couple other things. I'm going to look at the power of surrender. Masculine, feminine. I mean, yeah, this one I got to. Surrender to spirit. Once you've done everything you can to achieve a goal, turn the situation over to the divine. Let spirit work its magic for you. So this is that magician energy again. This is what I was saying, how once you've done everything you can to achieve a goal, this is picking up, you've got to take the action to start the process of the manifesting, right? But then you've got to flow. You've got to let it go, detach from the outcome. Not, you know, the Taurus energy too might be there, because if you're trying to control something too much, it's not going to happen. So you've got to try to find that balance to just trust, to just relax, to just flow. I'm hearing too, like maybe getting out in water would be really good. You can just get out in a river or lake. And then last, I mean, all right. I was just talking about flowing. So we got flow of prosperity, Lakshmi. This is the Ascended Master. Cards, oracle cards. Retreat into nature, green man. So this is especially while the weather's nice, you know, depending on where you are in the world, but most places in the US right now anyway are having really nice weather. And yeah, I feel like there's a lot, like I said, of just getting out of your head into your heart and connecting to your divinity more. There's a lot of that that's gone wayside because of trying to be in survival mode. And when you're in survival mode, you shut down you detach. So get out there and reconnect, and remember who you are. If you would like to book a private session with me, that information is down below. So I'll try to do a pick a card as well. We'll see how my energy is over the next few days. But in the meantime, take care, everybody. I hope you have a great full moon